Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano and Bitcoin. We haven't really moved since my last update video a lot, but it's still important to take a look at the current retracement levels, and we have another look at the moon cycle indicator that did tell us end of last week that this week would be a good week. And yeah, I think it was right again. So we don't take it too serious, but we keep a sense of humor, and yeah, we still consider it. So we take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Pretty much still doing what was expected and what was sort of forecasted at the end of last week and in the beginning of this week, when I told you that I would expect that this week we're going to break out of this pattern, and that did start. We are moving up here, and the reason for that is this Elliott Wave count moving down from that wave B, coming down from that large B, that top on the 10th of November here. It was moved down in the first wave 1, impulsive, corrective wave 2, impulsive wave 3, corrective wave 4, impulsive wave 5. I wasn't sure at the time if that wave 5 was already complete or if that was simply a wave 3 and the wave 5 was still to come. That wave 5 then would have been down there at 37 to 38k, and where I've got the wave A now, this would have been a wave 4 and so on. So nevertheless, I think this is now the most likely one still, and it has been my primary expectation throughout that we are moving up here now. And there have been a lot of new people yesterday apparently watching my videos, so a lot of people asked, oh, do you expect it to go down again? And yes, I do. And just a little bit of history here to zoom out. My view is, and it's all based on the Elliott Wave method, that in April we've made an all-time high, of course. Then, however, a correction started. The correction started into July. People understand and acknowledge that. That's when we hit the 30k, even slightly below 30k. Then we moved to a new all-time high. However, my view is this was still part of a correction. It was basically a massive fake out. I mean, all of you know fake outs, yeah, but this was just a massive fake out based on a larger time scale, a larger wave count, and this happens, you know, all the time. You know, this happens on different time scales, so you can also have a huge fake out, and this was, well, you can call it a fake out. It was actually a corrective wave B. Again, based on the Elliott Wave method, a wave B is corrective. In this case, the trend went down. The wave B was correcting that trend, however, in this case to the upside, yeah, and now the trend is continuing to go down. So impulsive moves like here from April to July, or starting now here in November to the downside, they always go in the direction of the higher level trend. And the higher level trend at the moment is going down, but you always get these corrections, like here the wave B. Now a wave B can be higher, yeah, it can overshoot the preceding all-time high or the preceding high. That makes these corrections so difficult to detect. And since we then broke below 53k, the bearish scenario here became active. And I did tell you when we were here that I would expect then from that wave 5 a move into this target area up here. And from there then, from this target area, which is sitting between 55 and 63k, we are then going to turn around and move down into that area between 20 and 29k. How do I get to that target area? Well, this is sitting between Fibonacci retracement levels, and the low, definitely very important, is above the previous all-time high from the previous bull cycle, okay? Theoretically, as per Elliott Wave methods, or the Elliott Wave method, this could actually go down all the way to 15k. So bear that in mind when we really go through below 20k, but I think it's very unlikely because so far the Bitcoin price has never gone below the high of the last bull cycle, okay? But the wave C needs to go below the wave A, and the wave A was here at 29.5, something like that. So I would expect it to land below that. And what we're currently seeing is this relief rally that I've been talking about since the beginning of December, that I would expect that, and we're seeing that play out now. Bear in mind, this is currently only my assumption. It is for me the most likely scenario. So far it's played out perfectly. There's A, there's B, and there's C now to the upside. If you're wondering where I get the ABC from now, well, an ABC pattern you typically find in a wave B. And I just explained to you that we've come down here in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going up in a wave B, and come down then in a wave C. That might all be complicated. If you want to learn more about that, you can find my second channel in the video description, More Trading Online. I've got a few tutorials there on the Elliott Wave method. I'm going to add more to it, but time is just limited, so I can't do it whenever I want to. But yeah, I've got a few important tutorials there about the Elliott Wave method, a whole playlist about it there. So anyway, we are going up now in this wave C. That's what I expected after the drop anyway, and this is happening. And we are now moving through the fib levels here. So we already moved here through the 13 and the 21-day EMAs. We're currently finding resistance here at the purple one, which is here the 89-day EMA, yeah. So this is where exactly where we found resistance now, also at the previous high here, but we weren't quite there yet. So we need to get next key level, and I put it on the chart here, is the 52K level. If we get above 52K, which is the high of that wave A, that would be then a confirmed breakout here, and it would be a confirmed wave C to the upside. And that wave C could get between 55 and 63K. It could even go a little bit higher. I don't think that it will go above the previous all-time high, but I think it could go higher than that. But this is the most likely, again, the most likely outcome. Could we go to new all-time highs, or even could my whole scenario here be rubbish? Yeah, it could be, but the likelihood is very low. This, in my view, is the most likely scenario for Bitcoin in this area here. When we land there, then I think we're going to turn around, move much lower. That's when many people get too bullish, get leveraged again. But I think that is then when we get the final sell-off. This comes clearly here as a corrective move. This ABC is clearly corrective. It's a three-wave pattern. You can clearly see that move up, move down, and now we are moving up. This does not look impulsive yet. If it does look impulsive, this whole thing, I'll let you know. That could then be an indicator that we go quite through and the trend level changed again. But at the moment, the trend clearly points down. You can see it, how strong that move to the downside was. And now we have this correction, which isn't that steep, you know. And yeah, I'll let you know if this should change. But at the moment, my primary expectation is to land in here. What am I going to do? I'm going to sell some of my cryptos from my trading portfolio. I haven't decided which ones yet in this area. After certain signals, so I'll let you know when it comes to that. Take some profits here, not from my long-term hodl portfolio, because that's what I don't touch anyway, but from my trading portfolio. And then my assumption is that we're going to go down, and I'm going to buy in at lower prices. Looking at Cardano, it has been following Bitcoin yesterday, which is great. We also climbed above 145, which was that 0.786 fib level, but we lost it again, which is not a problem. We were simply overbought here on the 4-hour chart. You can see that we even touched 149, didn't quite get to 150. Apparently 150 was a bit of a resistance here as well. Of course, it's a psychological number. You know, we had here before 150 resistance as well. I did expect more resistance at 145, that fib level, where we had support here, we had resistance here. But okay, we moved through, which is fine. Just didn't have enough steam to hold above it, unfortunately. So in the next move, we can hopefully do that. We're currently retracing on a smaller scale to a key Fibonacci level. And this is so far looking bullish. You know, the downtrend is not too strong here. So we just need to see how that's going to play out, and if we are holding here certain levels. So there you can see that is where we are currently. So we're currently holding here exactly the 0.214 fib level at 143. Is it likely that we stop here? I don't necessarily think so. I think we could even go down to the 0.382 level, which is here at 138, which is, I think, actually the most likely one to get back to if this really is an uptrend. The 0.214 is quite high. Also, the 4-hour RSI needs to be brought down. I think we could retrace a little bit more to the 0.382 fib level at 138. That wouldn't be a problem. Would still be above the previous high. And we moved up quite nicely here yesterday. So yeah, there is a scope for a little bit of a further correction, I think. Maybe some profit taking going on here. But also here we built very nice new highs and new lows. So higher highs and higher lows. We moved above 3 of the previous highs. This one, no, actually this one as well. 1, 2, moved above this one. And we can even move a little bit lower to find support there. And then we moved even briefly above that one here at 145 and that one. That we lost again, but yeah, we're currently finding support at this key fib level, and I would expect, together with what you've just seen for my Bitcoin analysis, I would expect further continuation to the upside, maybe after a little bit of a further correction, but further continuation to the upside is expected. So you can see here on the daily, we are far from being overbought on the daily, but we went into the bullish range. So on the RSI, above 50 is controlled by the buyers, which is great. So we are here in bullish momentum at the moment, and that makes it very attractive as well. I showed you yesterday on the weekly, this is starting to turn around, which is fantastic. Still very early if you take a look just at the weekly chart, but the RSI on the weekly is turning around to the upside, and this is like the high level trend ones, you know. Here the MACD is turning around, you lose that negative momentum, you can see it on the MACD, and the stochastic RSI is starting to turn around. So all of this is looking good. So that orange trend line did hold so far. To summarize, yeah, that orange important trend line I've been showing you for probably weeks now, and also here the yellow target area, we are starting to turn around in here. It would be fantastic if we really do, and if this would become a new all-time high. At the moment, primarily, I would expect though that what we are doing is we are currently building a buffer here. That's what I've been saying all the time. Together with Bitcoin going up, I would expect ADA to go up as well, maybe to 175. Yeah, if Bitcoin gets into this target area that I showed you, I could imagine that ADA goes all the way up to 175. You know, maybe even a little bit higher, but 175 is definitely the next key resistance. And if we get to that, if Bitcoin then drops, for example, to 30K, ADA could have built enough buffer to hold the $1 level. The $1 level is just huge, psychological mark, and very important as well for the Elliott Wave count to remain in the bullish scenario. So it wouldn't be a problem to move up here and move lower again before we then turn around eventually and move to new all-time highs with a target of at least 440, 450, maybe even higher. Let's take a look at the moon cycles here for Bitcoin. We take it with a pinch of salt, but oops, it was just a different way of looking at it. Was it end of last week, I think? We started to look at it, and it is quite funny though, because what other people said here on YouTube is obviously that in a full moon cycle, prices tend to go up, and we took a look at a few examples, especially here, which was early in the year. It worked out so much, you know, when you had, and I go to the daily here for that. So you have these blue phases that you can see on the screen, which is the full moon cycle, and then the red phases, which is the new moon cycle. And whenever, or oftentimes it was, when we had a full moon cycle, prices did go up. You can see it here in this example from January, beginning of 2020. Full moon, price goes up. New moon, price goes down. Full moon, go up. New moon goes down a little bit. Yeah, it did go up, but it then went down even further. Full moon goes up, new moon down. Full moon up, new moon down. Full moon up, new moon down. So we had a look at a few examples, and so I sort of made a little bit of a joke of it. But don't worry, I also recognize that the moon is important for humanity and everything. So it's not that it's all a joke or anything, but it's still quite interesting to take a look at it. So the new moon, again, last time we had that flash crash, new moon cycle, the price went down. And then I said, you know, first of all, I said anyway, because of the Elliott Wave count and the pattern that we were forming here, this descending wedge, I would expect a breakout this week. The bulls really need to push here, and this is happening. But on top of that, I showed you the moon cycle, and we said, look, from a moon cycle point of view, we should really see an upside this week as well. And this is playing out. Someone asked, how long is that full moon cycle going to play out? And well, I don't know if the prices are going to go up throughout this moon cycle, but what the next new moon cycle, yeah, the next new moon cycle is in a couple of weeks. So it started here, I think, on the 19th, yeah, or 18th. So apparently I checked it, if I remember correctly, on the 2nd of January. That is when we have the next new moon cycle start. Yeah, so that is when, based on this indicator here, the prices should go down. But take it with a pinch of salt. But we're we're observing it. Yeah, we're observing it. And yeah, overall, I would expect further continuation here for Bitcoin and Cardano to the upside. And let us, yeah, I'll keep you updated definitely in the next few videos. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.